Now it's a different question that's related, of course, trigger foods. Each one knows, like, each person has his own trigger foods. Mine is, for example, French fries. I just can never stop when I see French fries. I cannot help not picking up a French fry, no matter how much I try. So do you think people should completely avoid their trigger foods? Should they identify and avoid their trigger foods in general or during the season? Yes, no, how do we?
Well, actually, and I don't believe in avoiding because, I mean, you can manage to avoid, but once or, you know, you'll never know when you're going to face that challenge. So I always like to keep the person with enough maneuvering skills to smartly manage whatever challenge comes their way. So if your weakness is like French fries, when your mind tells you that it's okay to eat French fries sometimes, I don't have to eat it all the time. I don't have to eat a big portion, you see. So sometimes I can do wedges, sometimes I can do roasted. Actually, mentioning the fries, the potato is like, it's marked as a sin food, which is very wrong because it's very healthy. It has something called chromium, which kind of stabilizes our blood sugar. Okay. But the main problem, is the preparation.
Yeah. I'll think of that next time I'm faced with fries.
So it's like when it's deep fried, then we need to do, like I said, quality versus quantity, portion control.
Absolutely.
Hala, I'm wondering if, when you say French fries is your trigger, my question is it the salt or is it the potato?
Well, it's
or
not
is it the deep frying?
Or is it the deep
frying? Deep frying and too much salt. And you know, these days there's a bit of controversy even about the salt, that it's, you know, the salt was marked as the demon, but here they were talking about processed salt.
Iodized?
You know, it's the processed, well, iodized, but processed. Iodizing is the main good feature of the processed salt, actually. But nowadays we can use the sea salt, we can use the pink salt, which has less damaging effect. Well, as long as everything is used in moderation, it shouldn't be a problem.
Okay, this actually definitely leads us to the next question. You know, we all have this certain major responsibility, major health responsibility towards ourselves. And some, مثلا, for example, they remove red meat thinking they're doing a favor to themselves. Others, they turn vegan for a variety of reasons. Some remove sugar altogether. What do you think of diets or food plans that remove certain food categories or food items completely? Do you think they're balanced? How healthy are they? How sustainable are they? Do you recommend, do you not recommend? What do you think?
See, usually, and I, as a health professional, as a mainstream health professional, updated though, I believe that all the major food groups, the macronutrients, the macromolecules are there to benefit our body. And so slashing out a food group is not, it's not in my dictionary. It's usually we can do it, but just for a short time. But normally, let's say the macro nutrient, the macro food groups, the macromolecules, which are the carbohydrates and the protein and the fat. Now, each and every one of those groups have a mission, has a function. For example, the carbohydrates are the major fueling, are the major energy. They are energy for our brains to keep us happy, to keep us, moving. And the protein, for example, it's a structure, it's a functional molecule to keep our muscles intact, to keep our enzymes working. And then there's the fat group, usually also for energy, but the fat also has come into the picture recently in a big time, that because fat was for a long time a taboo.
The bad guy.
You know, the bad guy. Now they stopped demonizing the fat, as we say. Quite the reverse. There's something now called healthy fat. It has to be an essential part of our daily intake because it goes as part of our membranes, our tissues, our brains, and so it is as important as the protein and the carb, but mind you, we need to identify with what we call the healthy fats, rather, which is like olive oil and avocado and the fish fat and the nuts. And so as long as we know, we don't need to slash out a food group. But you mentioned the vegan. The vegan, this is something else, because this is, it might be done due to religious, cultural, personal kind of reasons. The most important thing is, if the person doing that on long term, they would need to work with a health professional, nutritionist, a physician, just to tell them exactly how to eat, how to maneuver around their daily pattern so they have what's missing. And basically it's, we're concerned about the B12 and the irons, and so they might be supplemented. And after checking their health profile and so on, as long as we give them the necessary supplementation or the alternative sources of the missing nutrients, they will be fine in general.
So then we go to our next topic, which is sustainability. This all leads us to inquiring about what's the best sustainable health plan that one can go on, in your opinion. Or can you give us an example of a sustainable plan, a day among a sustainable plan, if we can? I don't know.
And in my opinion, sustainable dietary plan is a plan that nourishes our body with nutrients. It nourishes our soul with diversity and enjoyment, and it keeps our taste buds alert. You see, because most people don't know that when we eat a lot of processed food and colored food and lots of salt and lots of sugar, this desensitizes our taste buds. And so, if they are desensitized, then we don't feel the food and we need a bigger quantity. You see, so we eat more and we're not really, enjoying the taste. And so, in my opinion, also sustainability has to do with maintaining the sensitivity, the sharp. Our taste buds need to be sharp and kept alive and revived. And most of all, it's something that suits the person doing it. You see, you need to cater for the accessibility to food, the economic situation, the social situation, where do they eat, I bring my lunchbox with me, or I have an easy place. And so it's like nowadays, a sustainable thing is a personalized thing. We do believe there's something called personalized nutrition. And so it is something that is perfectly custom made for
each and every
the person in front of us, actually.
Because when you think about it, most of us eat the same things every day, almost.
Almost, yes.
So, yeah. Okay, so it's slightly, I can't say off topic, but it's a small advice. How can you bring back those who fall off the wagon? Or what do you recommend to those who fall off the wagon?
Yeah, we always use this word, fall off the wagon, for people who, they are suffering a setback. We always say falling off the wagon, having a setback is a normal happening. It's a normal event. And if it didn't happen, actually, I'll be surprised. And so most people will get aggravated, and it will trigger a negative feeling, a low self-esteem. Oh, my friends are doing it and I couldn't do it. It's a sign of failure. It's not. It's falling off the wagon is normal. The most important thing that I teach my clients is how to get back on the wagon. How do I do that? I need to accept that I've fallen off the wagon, I messed up a bit, so what? Yeah, we were born weak. And so we need to work on our weakness with our intelligence, with our minds.
And the sooner they take action, the better.
Bravo. Yeah. So the sooner, the instant remedy tool is now in order for this. So if we accept that failure is part of life, we pick ourselves, we learn from our failure, and then we get on the wagon again, better equipped, smarter, and we can get on with our way.